Solving inequalities by multiplying and dividing. It's going to be easy like it was with adding and subtracting, but there's just one more thing that you have to look at. Inequalities are solved the same way as equations. We're still going to be isolating the variables, our ultimate goal, and we're still doing that with inverse operations. I want to get you thinking a little bit about what it is that you're undoing. And this is going to apply to if you're undoing a positive or if you're undoing a negative. We're just going to start with some basic inequalities. 8 is greater than 6. We can all agree that that is a true statement, that 8 is greater than 6. Well, what if I multiplied both sides by a positive? What if I multiplied both sides by 2? And I said 2 times 8 is greater than 6 times 2. Multiplying by 2 on the same side, like what you're going to be doing in solving inequalities. That becomes 16 is greater than 12. It's still a true statement. So, if you're multiplying or dividing by a positive, the statement will be true. Nothing different. Now, I want to contrast that with if you're dealing with a negative. Let's say that I want to multiply both sides by a negative 2. So I've taken the given inequality and I'm multiplying both sides by negative 2. Negative 2 times 3 is negative 6. Negative 2 times negative 2 is positive 4. Let's read the statement. Negative 6 is greater than 4. That's not true. In order to make this a true statement, I'm going to have to switch the inequality to the opposite side. So if I write that as negative 6 is less than or equal to 4, it is now a true statement. So this is your rule. This is what's different about multiplying and dividing. If I'm going to multiply or divide by a negative, and meaning in order to solve, you have to reverse the symbol for the statement to be true. So if what I'm undoing is I'm multiplying or dividing by a negative, then I'm going to reverse the symbol. Let's practice this. On practice A, x is being divided by 11. So I'm going to undo that by multiplying by 11. I'm multiplying by a positive 11, so I leave the symbol alone. So that cancels there. X is less than 33. You can test it to make sure you didn't mess up the signs by substituting in something in the solution set. Something less than 33 is, let's say, 22. 22 divided by 11 is 2, which is less than 3. So we've done that one correctly. Practice B. 4.8 is less than or equal to x divided by negative 6. To solve this, I'm going to multiply both sides by negative 6. Here's where I'm going to have to do some changing. Since I am undoing a negative, I'm going to have to switch the symbol from less than or equal to greater than or equal to. Then I'm going to multiply negative 6 times 4.8. You can come down here to do that. You get 28.8 in different signs, so that is a negative. Negative 28.8 is greater than or equal to r. And you can substitute something in there. R is less than or equal to negative 28.8. I'm going to choose negative 30. And if I put negative 30 in there, negative 30 divided by negative 6 is positive 5. And it does make sense because 4.8 is less than positive 5. So that would work. I've guided you through A and B. Pause the video, you try C and D, and then see what you come up with. Okay, for practice C, we're going to undo multiplying by -8 by dividing by -8 on both sides. It cancels on the left. I'm reversing my sign because I'm undoing a negative. I'm undoing by multiplying or dividing by a negative. 16 divided by -8 is a -2. So check one of these in your head. S is less than -2. I'm going to choose -3. That's something that's less than -3. If I were to put -3 in for S, that would be -8 times -3, which is positive 24, and 24 is greater than 16. For D, -28 is greater than 7H. I'm going to undo multiplying by 7 by dividing by 7 on both sides. Yes, there is a negative, but that's not what I'm undoing. I'm undoing with a positive 7, so the sign remains the same. -4 is greater than H. I can pick something that's less than -4, such as -5. If I were to put -5 in for H, 7 times -5 is -35, and -28 is greater than -35.